So as 2025 gets into gear, it's going to be the return of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers for the African section. And I've got to say, it's starting to get a little bit nervy. I'm starting to get a bit shaky. Africans across the continent are going to start to get shaky because this is where it counts. Game 5 and Game 6 of the FIFA World Cup qualifying African section. It's just a year and a half until that tournament takes place in the USA, Canada and Mexico. And today we're going to be looking at Algeria's group, which is unbelievably tight. I mean, there's only 3 points separating first and fifth. And then you got Somalia in 6th place, making up the numbers. Listen, I love Somali people, but they're not going to go to the World Cup. We can rule them out. The interesting thing about this group is we now know that 4 of the 6 teams in Algeria's group will play the AFCON in Morocco. So 4 of the 6 qualifying just shows it's actually quite a tough group. And what's even more mad is that out of those 4, Guinea aren't one of them. And we thought Guinea would have been the biggest challenger to Algeria in qualifying out of this group. You've got Algeria, Uganda, Mozambique and Botswana who have made the AFCON from this group, plus Guinea with Girassi firing the goals for Dortmund. All of a sudden, I don't know, why does it always happen to us? Why do we always end up in this situation where our group's so tough? Like, everyone else seems to breeze. Tunisia, like, they're not good, but they get stuff happening, and they're getting Equatorial Guinea having 6 points taken away, and Egypt get Burkina Faso and Guinea-Bissau dropping points, and Morocco just blitzing every game and getting Eritrea withdrawing, in Algeria. You always got to make it difficult. Why does it always feel like we make it so difficult? When this draw was made, everyone was excited. Belmadi was in charge. Remember, Belmadi was the manager when the draw was made. Belmadi went to Mozambique and won, and he beat Somalia at home. He got 6 points out of 6. Belmadi went. Petkovic comes in. We lose at home to Guinea, which was the banker. And then Guinea lose at home in match day 4. And all of a sudden you've got Algeria and Mozambique as the 2 teams on the 9 points. And of course Algeria will be bringing Mozambique probably to Tizi Ouzou. And that Tizi Ouzou game was really good against Liberia. The atmosphere was good. I said at the time, it felt better and warmer and better vibes than playing in Baraki. But before that, we have to go to Botswana, who have just gone to Egypt and drawn. And, you know, Botswana have been playing really well. They've gone to the AFCON, qualified a group that had Egypt, Mauritania and Cape Verde. They finished above Mauritania and Cape Verde. I think they beat Cape Verde twice. There was a cheeky little elbow, and the Botswana people have got to be honest, maybe a bit of a handball in a goal away to Egypt. But nonetheless, thoroughly deserved. I think only Botswana's 2nd ever AFCON. Look, from an Algeria point of view, it's the worst time to play Botswana. I remember Botswana away with Belmadi. We won 1-0, I think in Gaborone, where Belali scored a corner kick. Almost like Arsenal. That's how hard it is to go and win in Botswana. And I think it's going to be very, very difficult, of course, because Algeria also playing both those games in Ramadan. And maybe we'll get to play the home game against Mozambique a late kickoff, because we're playing at home, and usually the North African sides play in the evening. The Sub-Saharan sides, teams like Botswana, we can guarantee you now, they will look to play at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We've seen in games before Algeria play when they're fasting. Sometimes it can be a huge boost, sometimes it can be really difficult. Of course, the World Cup game against Germany, players were fasting, players are breaking their fast during the game. Remember Mboli having some dates, but to go to Botswana with no food and no water, and you've got to go then, you've got to get a result, you've got to win, because Botswana are challenging to go to the World Cup as well. Botswana are making up the numbers, they're not Somalia. Botswana have 6 points, and they're going to play Algeria fasting, knowing they can be 9 points level with Algeria should they beat them. And we saw as well, we lost at home to Guinea, and Petkovic even went 1-0 down in Uganda. So this is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Already lost at home. For me, for all of Africa in these games, you've got to win. If you win all your home games, you're halfway there. You're not living on a prayer. You're halfway there if you win your home games. You're halfway there, because you know you can go away and you can only get maybe some couple of draws and nick a win and you're there. When you lose a home game, you have to go away and you've got to win some games. Now, Belmadi, thankfully, Hamdallah, has already won in Mozambique and Maputo, and that is such a difficult result. Really, really impressive. That is why we've lost at home to Guinea and can still remain top. And we're now going to bring Mozambique to Tizi at home. But for me, Botswana away is going to be difficult with the players fasting, and with Botswana full of confidence. They've just gone to Egypt, gone to Cairo International Stadium and drawn. And now they're going to bring Algeria. And Botswana will feel that now that they've qualified for the AFCON, they can play with the big boys. And they've got a really good cohesive group there that are playing for each other, that are working hard, they're going to smash into tackles, they're going to be difficult to break down. And Botswana will be thinking, look, this is a 48-team World Cup now. Massive opportunity, not 5 teams from Africa, but potentially 10 going to the tournament. So it's going to be difficult. So you've got Botswana to worry about. You've got Guinea to worry about because there's 6 games left. Guinea have beaten us in Baraki, and Guinea still have to play Somalia twice. And I'll be honest, again, I love Somali people. When the fixture's Somalia, home or away, well, it's not really away, is it? You can't really go and play in Somalia. I've not seen a fixture happen in Mogadishu yet. It's a win. So that's Guinea getting 2 wins. I mean, could you imagine the scenes if Somalia did Algeria a favour? Honestly, we'd have to all eat as much Somali food as we want in West London. But seriously, Guinea have 2 games against Somalia. Guinea bottled it at home to Mozambique. I say at home, they played in Morocco. It'd be interesting to see if Guinea continue to play in Morocco, or are they going to be allowed to go back to Conakry because of the political situation and the coup d'etat there. And of course the thing is with Guinea is that they bottled the AFCON. They lost to Tanzania. They've got Girassi in fine form, playing. He's just scored 2 goals against Barcelona in the Champions League, for God's sake. Girassi is one of the best centre forwards, not just in Africa, but in Europe, in the world. He's going to be leading the line. Guinea are going to be well up for it. The only way they can make up not making an AFCON is to potentially go to the World Cup. So Guinea are going to be playing Somalia. They're going to most probably win that. And they may well get 6 points out of 6. Then you've got Mozambique, who will be playing the Ugandans. And you expect Mozambique to beat Uganda. If Uganda are going to Mozambique, if they're going to Maputo, you'd expect Mozambique to win that sort of fixture. But I just think you've got 5 teams that will feel like they can get first place. And the thing is, people are going to look at Algeria and think they're going to be vulnerable because of what happened with Cameroon, because of the AFCON in Cameroon, because of the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. It's a good time to play Algeria. You're looking at the pot one. It's not like a big, strong Algeria. I mean, before you would never win in Bleeder. You'd never lose in Bleeder. Now, there's pressure. And Algeria struggle with the mind games. And I just think Petkovic has got to win. Because the only way you don't have to care about what everyone else does is to win every game. Look, Algeria got 6 games left. If they win all 6, they'll go to the World Cup. It's as simple as that. But you take it a game at a time. You go to Botswana, you pray Tarawih the night before, you pray for the win, you pray for no juju, you bring Mozambique to Tizi, you beat them, and then you've got 4 games later in the year to really try and go to that World Cup. But then again, you look at the Ugandans and what they're doing, and they led against us, even though Mandrea made a mistake. Uganda are going to the AFCON, they're bouncing with confidence, they're building a new team. They're going to feel like they can go to the World Cup as well. Listen, every team in these qualifiers, apart from Somalia, I'm not being rude, they're just not good. And they know they're not good. Every team here is going to be thinking the same as us. We're talking about, we're going to go to Botswana, we're going to host Mozambique. Guinea thinking we're going to go to beat Somalia, we're going to beat Botswana, all this sort of stuff. Uganda be thinking it. Mozambique, if they can beat Guinea away, again, I know it's in Morocco, they'll feel they can go to Tizi Ouzou, where Liberia took the lead, and they feel they're going to do something. So it would be impressive for me if Algeria were to come out of this. It could be really impressive, but you've got to go to Botswana, you've got to host Mozambique and win, and I think you've got to go with the experience. I think you've got to put Mahrez out there on the right wing. Even if you got Cherki and Akliouche, you can't throw Akliouche on the wing, Botswana away. If it goes wrong, people are not going to want him. He's not going to have a World Cup to play in. You can't do that. Could you throw Ryan Cherki in first game, Botswana away? I just can't see it. Could you throw Mitchell Weiser in first game, Botswana away? I can't see it. I think he's going to be using the players he's got now, guys. If he's going to have to play Mahrez, Bunjah and Guiri as his front 3, he's going to hope Banassa comes back fit, and he's going to have to probably play Awar and Zarouki with him and take Haj Moussa as a substitution to come on. Don't want to see Bilali coming. I know he scored a corner there last time. I don't want to see it. And we know he's going to play that back 5. Because every game he plays that back 5, and the other teams are going to know he play that back 5. We've got to be solid with that back 5. To be fair to Petkovic, he's been very good away from home. He's got a really good record away from home. You know, he went to Equatorial Guinea and drew 1 in Togo, 1 in Liberia, 1 in Uganda. He's good away from home. Get the 3 points. You're going to have an unbelievable atmosphere when you play Mozambique in Tizi Ouzou. So these are coming up in March. We're looking at the other groups as well. But how are you guys feeling? It's bloody nerve-wracking, isn't it? It is nerve-wracking. It starts to feel a bit of that flavour of when we were playing Burkina Faso and Cameroon. It's going to all start coming back. The days are going to trickle down, and Algeria 6 games away for making the World Cup. And of course, you can come second, but it's awfully complicated. You've got to be one of the best four. I don't think playing the results and points against Somalia will count if you come second, because you've got a group with Morocco where Eritrea are out. So you've got to have the same number of teams in every group to do the second place thing, otherwise it's unfair. And then even those four second place teams do a playoff, get to a final, and then you've got to play someone else from another continent. You've got to go for the first place, I think, in here. So what do you guys think about this situation? It's going to be tough. Eliminator 4 is coming up in less than a few months' time.